Hi, I'm Miles Brandman, and today is a code brown. Not like that. Man, I didn't think that through. I'm talking about the vehicle. It's the 2019 Acura MDX, and it's in a lovely shade of brown. Acura calls it Canyon Bronze Metallic. I call it brown. Whatever you want to call it, it's different, and the owner of a brown vehicle has shopped around and decided they wanted something unique. That is the MDX Sport Hybrid. It is a hybridized, very fuel efficient, and yet fun to drive three-row crossover. We're gonna go poke around it and see what non-brown things we find. Alrighty then, 2019 Acura MDX Sport Hybrid Super Handling All-Wheel Drive. Let's start with the design. Dominating the front end is Acura's now universal diamond pentagon grille with these black particles blowing off from the center emblem, which is huge, frankly, but it is functional. It does have radar technologies for the driver assistance features. Really dig the front end, especially compared to that beak that they had for so long. This is a much better direction. It goes along with these jewel eye headlights, which look super sharp, especially with the creases that you can see in this lighting. Down here, chrome accents for the lower front fascia, some nice hood creases, also very sharp. Digging the front end of Acura's latest. As we move to the side, we can see these 20-inch shark gray wheels that are part of the technology package. Now this is the advanced model, so this is the top of the line MDX Sport Hybrid. So these are going to come standard, but you have a few different wheel options to choose from. I think these look probably the best of your options. Some chrome garnish for the side sills. Good sized door mirrors as you need for a vehicle that's in the mid-size SUV segment. Blacked out pillars, and then a steep rake to that rear roof line. Character line runs all the way from the back to the front of the car. A blacked out upper spoiler, and then at the back, some decent looking taillight designs at night. These glow up nicely with its own signature lighting. I kind of wish they were blacked out. I'm digging all the smoked out tail lights that we have on most vehicles. Not so here. Exhaust ports, these are somewhere between the ones you've seen that are purely a stylistic thing and functional. They have the stylized portion that's in chrome, but it is an actual exhaust port that's coming out there. So you've got two of those, one over here and one over there. The back end design is pretty good. The lower bumper looks a little chunky. If you get down here, you can kind of see how it flares out back there. But it gives the car a bit of stance, so I'm not opposed to that. When we pop open the rear hatch, which is going to take its time, we can see back here we've got 15 cubic feet of space behind the third row, which is standard for the segment. That also includes the Audi Q7, Infiniti QX60, and Volvo XC90. And you can fold these seats down. They are not power operated, but you pull this lever, the headrest folds, you push forward, and the seat pops down. When you have the second row folded, you have 38 cubic feet of space, which is, again, pretty comparable for the segment. Also down here, if you push this lever and lift it, you have a little cubby. And some of its rivals do not have this, so it's good hidden storage. You want some items to be extra safe, or you just want to maximize cargo capacity, you have that. We've got a 12-volt plug back here, one of many in the vehicle, and I will show you those, all of them. But yeah, space is decent behind the third row. When we pop open the rear doors, you can see this is a espresso leather, they call it, and you've got perforated center inliners, and then Milano leather coating for the exterior part of the seat. If you want to push the back seats forward, these are it's a captain's chair setup. Apologies. On the top of the line advanced trim, you can't have the 3-row back here. You do have the captain's chairs, but you get this really usable center console. So if you want to push the seat forward, you press the little button here. Back seat folds forward and it slides up to give you access to that third row. Now I'll climb back here so you can see Because of the roof line, it's not ultra easy to get back here, but this is enough space to crawl. And when you are back here and you push the seat back, you can see not a ton of leg room. I am 6 feet tall, but I do not have much room at all. Headroom also. It's okay. You're probably only going to stash kids back here. They do have cup holders, and in this version, they also have their own USB plugs, 2 of them. So that's neat. And when you're back here, you want to get out, press the button again, and that same trick function takes place. Oh gosh. And I'm out. Push the seat back. If you just wanted to fold the back portion of the seat up, pull this lever down here. And if you're going to load up a bunch of gear, that's the best way to do that. When I climb into the back seat, close the door, you can see a good bit of leg room. This is behind my own seat. You know, you're not sprawled out here, but it's good enough. Headroom, pretty good. And as I was mentioning, this center console thing that replaces the middle seat is trick. It's got 3 different levels. This actually mirrors the front console exactly. So it's got 1 level, 2 level, and then if you pop them both open, this tray slides forward, or you can lift it up and you have a pretty good sized center space down here. 2 more USB ports, can't get enough of those, and 2 cup holders, and dual zone climate control for back here, and rear seat heating. Sorry, 1 single zone independent rear seating. That's pretty nice. Hopping up into the front now. Another look at the espresso color leather. Very comfortable front chairs. 12-way power. Heating and cooling for those front seats. One more time, this is the Advance, so this is the top of the line. It's gonna have all the bells and whistles. Here's that door sill. And you can see the wood mixed with the Milano leather. It's just a nice integration. I like the duotone colors. And this is also a great time to check out that brown flake. It's a really nice color. Browns can be done poorly. I know I said I like brown vehicles, but sometimes they just don't look right. But this brown is particularly fetching. I also like that even though this is a hybrid, Acura doesn't make a huge deal about it. They put 1 little badge there. But apart from that, you would never know. And when you drive it, unless you're really in tune, it just feels like a very high performance vehicle. So now that we've climbed into the driver's seat, hit that power button, and this is the car when it's on. It's completely silent when you start it up. It will kick on the motor if you've been sitting for a long time so it doesn't kill the battery. But apart from that, it's pretty darn quiet. You've got some functions on the steering wheel. It's a heated steering wheel in this one. This is a great chance to check out this wood. It has texture to it. Very, very nice. I love that. It feels far more high quality than the starting price of this figure, which is $44,500. Top of the line, as we're looking at it, is 60 grand. Sounds like a lot of money, but you load up all the competitors and they're as much or more. The Audi Q7, for example, starts at 60, so you really are getting a good bang for your buck. This center console is same as the rear. You've got 3 pockets, 1, 2, lift up the console, 3, and this one's even deeper than the last one. You can fit a ton of stuff in here, loaded up with water bottles. 2 USB ports there, a 3rd one here, 12 volt down there, auxiliary. Man, you've got so many connection options, and the tray slides forward like the last one. It has some grippy material on the top of it so things don't slide around. Really dig the whole design that we've got going on here. This center stack, not as exciting. Sorry, we're in bad lighting. I'm actually going to move it real quick so we can have a little bit better lighting on this. But when we get in the shade, you'll see it's low resolution, their current infotainment system. Now, Acura, as we know, has access to much better systems. Honda owns Acura, and Honda's new Accord and Odyssey have a really sleek single screen 8-inch display that has some touch buttons, some touch controls and some physical buttons. This dual screen thing, it's just a little outdated at this point. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it's not that difficult to figure out how to use it. Touch down here for your climate control, and radio up there is navigation and your camera settings. You've got some physical buttons. You hit the camera and you can see a few different views of the car. Hit nav and use this scroll wheel to adjust your view, but it's a little slow, and the resolution again is not that good. Apart from that, really dig the layout of the vehicle. Visibility is decent, especially if you fold the headrests of the third row seating down. You can see out of that rear window very easily. And that back pillar is not as bad as I've seen on some other crossovers. You're not going to have a panoramic roof or panoramic sunroof for that second row. You just have a sunroof for the front row. And that darkens up that rear space a bit without that, but not too bad, especially with a lighter color interior like this one. The driver display is also a little outdated at this point. Analog, speedo, and tachometer, and a little TFT screen. But in terms of other technologies, you have Acura's full suite of driver assistance features: adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, on and on and on. So many different safety functions that come as standard on the vehicle. What I haven't talked about at this point is how the car drives or its powertrain. So let's pop open that hood and go take a look at what we're working with. All right, so what we're looking at here is a 3-liter V6, makes 290 horsepower, but that's not where it stops. Because this is the Sport Hybrid model, it's connected to 3 electric motors, one at each of the rear wheels, giving it all-wheel drive capability, and then one between the engine and transmission. That's just like the Acura NSX Supercars setup, and it gives the car a total of 321 horsepower, again going to all 4 wheels, connected to a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission, 267 pound-feet of torque. That stacks up favorably against its competitors, again, Volvo XC90, Audi Q7, and Infiniti QX60. Acceleration is some of the best in the 3-row SUV segment, 5.7 seconds to 60 miles per hour. That is properly quick for a vehicle of this size, and so smooth, so smooth. As I said, when you start up the car, it's operating effectively just as an electric vehicle, and even up to 37 miles per hour, it can just kind of cruise around silently. From there, it's going to kick on the gas engine, and if you really just get aggressive with the throttle, then it's going to kick on the gas engine right away. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet powertrain setup, and the handling of the vehicle is excellent. And I really wish I could show that to you, but I can only describe it. It's an excellent handling crossover. It really does not drive as big as the vehicle is. Accelerates quickly. Braking is good. It's not the best in the segment. I think Car and Driver did a test of braking performance, and it's on the worst part of the segment. But apart from that, it feels like a very performance-oriented crossover. It has 4 different drive modes: Comfort, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus, and they really do make a difference in terms of how the vehicle behaves. Because of those electric motors at the back, it's so quick at sending torque to the rear wheels. Up to 70% of the torque can be sent to the outer rear wheel. Rear wheel, that's not easy to say quickly. And so it's so responsive when you're really plugging away at the wheel. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about it. Again, starting price $44,500, but this one fully loaded, I mean everything on this model, you're looking at $60,000, and that sounds like a lot of money for an Acura, but is money very well spent. You're getting all the bells and whistles And apart from an infotainment that needs a bit of a refresh, it does have the tech. It's got Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and it has all those USB ports for plugging it in. That hybrid drivetrain, I didn't say the MPG, 27 combined MPG. That's better than any other vehicle in the 3-row crossover segment. It's really, really good. And all the while, that's not sacrificing performance at all. So, in summary, I'm very much impressed with the MDX Sport Hybrid super handling all-wheel drive. And not just because it's brown, but that does serve as a perk for me.